the producer's blog.
Hello people of the internet and welcome back to another video. I'm CEO for CityProducer.com and the Producer's Blog, and in today's tutorial I just wanted to touch on making your reverbs and delay sends a little bit more special, being a little bit more creative with those sends and with those delays and reverb throws. So I have a vocal here and it's really nice and smooth, but there's a huge gap right here and I just wanted to fill it up with either a long reverb tail or some delay repetitions like quarter note repetitions or something like that. So I set up a send, and I'm sending the vocal to delay right here, and it's just doing some quarter note repetitions, and it's a stereo ping pong delay, so left and right for every repetition, and that sounds something like this, just dry, just simple like this.
I miss you so much, boy. I don't know what I would do with myself if you were gone, far away from home.
Okay, so that's slightly obnoxious. It pulls you out of the moment a little bit. It's so nice and sweet, and you're just pushing all that reverb into the listener's face. So we definitely don't want that. So I wanted to make it a little bit more smooth and add a little bit of effects to just spice up that delays a little bit and make those repetitions a little bit more special. So the first thing I added is reverb. So this is actually something that I like to do a lot, and you'll see it a lot in my tutorials. I either send a delay into reverb or the other way around. If you send a reverb into the delay, you'll have a delay that is repeating a reverbed tone. So a vocal gets some reverb and then it goes into the delay, so the repetitions will be reverbed. Or you send, like in this case, you send the delay into the reverb so that the repetitions are a little bit more smooth and you don't hear the ba 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 ba, but it's more like ba 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 ba, a little bit more smooth. So this is what this is doing.
I miss you so much, boy. I don't know what I would do with myself if you were gone, far.
And before,
if you were gone.
the repetitions are a little bit too aggressive. So if we add the reverb, the repetitions are a little bit more smooth.
If you were gone, far away from home.
So the next thing I added was a bit of flanging, and I like to use pitch shifting effects like flanging and chorusing and phasing to add a bit of character and a bit of flavor to those repetitions or to effects in general. So the flanger, for example, in this case is just messing around the stereo field a little bit, and let's listen to that.
If you were gone, far. If you were gone.
It's very subtle, but you can hear a bit of that type of effect. And actually, I'll just push up the mix so you can hear it very clearly.
If you were gone.
Now that would be too obnoxious, so we just pull it down a little bit. Actually, let me play it again so you can hear it.
If you were gone.
Okay, so let me pull it down now.
If you were gone.
just making the repetitions a little bit more random and making them a little bit more dreamy, let's say, in a way. So the next thing would be to add, I added a tremolo in this case. I was playing around with some effects, and I found I wanted to insert this tremolo, and again, very subtle, but it makes a difference.
If you are gone, if you are gone.
Instead of decaying in a very linear way, it decays more in a rhythm. So it's more like, it's not, I don't think it's synced. Actually, it is synced. It's in quarter notes, so it's decaying in intervals of quarter notes, so it's pushing and pulling in time with the music a little bit. So let's see if I can increase this so it's more drastic. The effect is more drastic.
If you are gone, if you are gone.
Yeah, so you can hear it much better like this. Actually, let me just unmute it, mute it, and play it without.
If you are gone, if you are gone.
Yeah, so again, it's even more random, and the combination of the tremolo and the flanger are really giving that sort of dreamy, random type of feel. So I love that. And you can be as subtle as you want or as extreme as you want. It depends on the song. It depends on the singer. It depends on many things. But you get the basic concept. So with reverbs instead is very similar, but I just wanted to try some different effects so you can get an idea of some different effects too. So I'm just going to mute all the effects that I added to the reverb. And the reverb is just a long hall, and that sounds like this.
If you are gone,
which is really nice because the length decays perfectly before the beginning of the next line, which is this one right here. So that's great. But it's a little bit boring and just a bit of a wash, a bit of a wah, like that. So let's make it a little bit more interesting. So first thing, I wanted to make it even more wide, more of a left to right disalignment, phase disalignment, and I added a bit of this width, this S1 imager from Waves, and it's just adding a little bit of width.
if you are gone, if you are gone, if you are gone.
So again, very subtle, but it's definitely doing something. And then I added this Enigma plugin, also from Waves, and this is just a weirdo plugin. It does all sorts of weird stuff, half of which I still haven't figured out. So I usually just play around with the presets and then just sort of modify the presets. So I found this really weird, clangy type of thing. So let's add that into the mix.
If you are gone, if you are gone.
So we definitely have a frequency issue. We have a frequency that is resonating a little bit too much, and that's why I cut it out, that one. So let me just enable that EQ.
If you are gone, if you are gone, if you are gone.
So yeah, some of you might say, okay, it's not doing anything. It is, but it's really, really subtle. So I'll just play around with some more some more presets so we can hear what it's actually doing to the sound, how it's actually changing the sound of a reverb.
If you are gone, if you are gone, if you are gone.
So this is a sort of a flanger type of thing that is moving around.
If you are gone.
Again, another flange type of effect. Another one.
If you are gone.
This is doing something weird with the frequencies as well.
If you are gone. If you are gone.
Yeah, definitely doing that.
If you are gone. If you are gone.
Okay, that's a weird one.
If you are gone.
Just very subtle, just a touch of that in the mix can really make a difference. So again, I'm not saying to use Enigma. I'm not saying to use any of these effects. I'm just trying to show you the concept behind what I'm trying to describe here. So another thing that you can do is actually add some distortion to reverbs and to effects in general, but reverbs especially sound nice when you add some distortion. I actually added 2 different types of distortion, but I'll just insert both and then remove both.
If you are gone. If you are gone. If you are gone.
So yeah, you can give a bit of crunch to the reverb and just make it stand out a little bit. Say if there's a word that you want to emphasize, or a word in specifically that is a little bit more aggressive than the whole mix, and you just want to push it out a little bit, you can add a bit of distortion to that reverb, just so it's more aggressive and it jumps out from the mix a little bit more. Okay people, so that's all we got time for today. Make sure to like and subscribe. Drop a comment below if you'd like to know something more about this video. Let me know what you'd like to see in the next videos. And make sure to visit SealTheProducer.com/theproducersblog for more audio and production goodness. And I'll see you in the next episode.